Hi everyone, it's Chris here. This is just a short video to show you how to incorporate figures and tables into your documents for technical writing for university. Okay, so what are figures and tables? Here are some figures and tables, but generally speaking, this is not going to be what we're talking about. Here are some real figures and tables. So there are several items on the page there. Now, which ones do you think are figures and which ones do you think are tables? I'll give you a few seconds to think about that. Okay, so here are the answers. The one on the top right and the one on the bottom left, they're tables. All of the others are figures, and you can see that there's a wide variety of different types of figures. Everything from pictures, diagrams, pie charts, flow charts, and so on. Now, figures are numbered and the label goes underneath the figure. So on the right here, we've got this is a figure, it's a flow chart. We have, it's numbered, so figure 2, and if you had one before that, it would be figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, and so on. So figure 2, and then you have a colon and the name. So this is the title, Plagiarism Guide. Now, you can include the source. We're not getting onto referencing just yet, so we're not going to be worrying about this for assessment 1. You can have a go if you want to, but we're not going to be worried. Of course, if you come up with the flowchart or picture or diagram yourself, you don't need to worry about source. But when we do get onto that, you will need to include source and it'll go underneath the label. Now, as I've said, figures can include anything from photographs, graphs, diagrams, drawings, etc. And this is what they'll look like in your text. Now, tables, on the other hand, are slightly different. So we've got the label going on top of the table. So here we have table 1, capitalization, and there's the table, and the source goes underneath. So the same as the previous one. The source goes underneath, but the label goes above the table rather than below, as you would write for a figure. Now, your CQ University Harvard Referencing Guide on page 15 will have some further explanation of this, so you can refer back to that. All right, so general rules for incorporating figures and tables into your document. So number and label each one with an informative title. So could be something like Figure 1, Parts of the Violin, or Table 1, Greenhouse Gas Emissions in Australia 1998 to 2008, and then subsequent figures and tables would be Figure 2, Figure 3, Figure 4, and so on. Now, only include them where relevant. Don't just plonk them in. And that's a very technical term I've used there, plonk, but they have to support the text. They can't just be included for visual effect. They have to add some meaning, so make it clearer for the reader exactly what you're talking about. And you have to refer to them in the text. So you have to say something like, connect the blue wire to the red wire, and then in parentheses, see figure 1. Full stop goes at the end. Notice the capital F for figure. So this is referring to them into the text. And then after that, the actual figure would appear, not before that. Now that's a general rule. There may be some exceptions to that, but generally speaking, place them after they've been mentioned in the text, not before. Okay, so I'm just going to show you an example from a previous student. Here we have the instructions. So place your thumb over your fingers as shown in figure 2. So you can see that it's been mentioned in the text before the actual figure appears. And then down below we have the figure, figure 2, making a fist, and you can see how that is labeled correctly. Now, there is another way that you can do it, and in step 8, it's place your right hand thumb side up, slightly in front and above your right hip. See figure 3, and you can see that it's in parentheses, small s for C, capital F for figure, 3, close parentheses, full stop. Now, that's done correctly. And down the bottom, you can see figure 3, hand placement for back stance, so it's given a nice label. So this is how to incorporate figures into your text correctly. Now, just before we go, just a word on usability testing. So this is an important step in the process of writing instructions. You need to test the clarity of your instructions by watching or observing someone following them. And this can be quite fun to do. So the participant, and that's the person following your instructions, they need to follow the instructions without interacting with you. And when they've finished, then they can fill out the feedback worksheet, which is available on Moodle, and give you some feedback on how clear the instructions were. Now, if you're doing that with another student via email, obviously you won't have any problems intervening. But the idea is that they do it without any intervention. You want them to go through the whole instruction sheet before they give you feedback. Now, if they are present, if you are present when the participant is trying your instructions, you need to observe but not intervene. You can take notes if you want to. But the idea is that you keep quiet until the participant has finished, and then you can have a discussion about how clear the instructions were. Now that's it for this week. If you go to Moodle, you can find these slides in the week 3 topic. The slides will have some extra information in there, just a review of the things that we've done so far and some further things to consider before you submit your assignment, so well worth looking at. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. All right, well, have fun with this assessment, and we look forward to reading your submission soon. All the best.